Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing today? This is Morgan Tapp with Papillon House Bookkeeping, and I'm here for another live to talk about tips, tricks, share some business insights, talk about some of the things that I get in my business all the time, questions from clients, topics that people want to know about, to try to shed some light on some of the problems that we come across in the financial world and hopefully help you guys have it at least be less boring and mind-boggling and scary as you go throughout this entrepreneurial journey, because we all know that it's lonely and hard. Well, we are here to make sure that you feel less alone. And I know I told you guys a few weeks ago that I'm going to try to get out here more, and I'm going to try really hard to make this less boring for you because bookkeeping is very boring. So, if that means I have to tell you guys about my dog who's trying to crawl in my lap all the time, even though he weighs 80 pounds, or, what I ate for lunch. I ate lunch early because I don't eat breakfast. Then that's what I'm willing to do because that's how much I care. So I'm kind of just going to dive in. Today's topic is something else that I get a lot on new consults. Not really clients, because they already know the difference, obviously, but new people. And the question is, drum roll, do I need a bookkeeper when I already have a CPA? What is the difference between a CPA, accountant, and professional bookkeeping? Because don't we all operate in this world of finances? Why should I have both? Well, I'm here to answer it for you. Let's start with a CPA. Let's talk about what they do, what they're good at, and maybe some of the shortcomings of having them by themselves. Then we're going to talk about bookkeeping, what we're good at, and maybe some of the shortkeepings of having us only by ourselves. All right? So, CPA, Certified Public Accountant. All right? They are, they're your gatekeepers for taxes. So let's just get that right out of the way. Everybody needs a CPA. If you file a business tax return, you need a CPA. And honestly, even if you don't, I know everybody can't afford it when it's only personal, but I still wish they'd have a CPA. Now that we got that elephant out of the room, let's talk about what a CPA actually does, right? A CPA is fantastic at tax planning and strategy. So if you made a whole bunch of money in your business and you want to figure out how to not pay, 37% of it to the government, you want some deductions, you want to save because, you have a bunch of kids or your employees or gas mileage or maybe some of the less known tricks of the trade, CPA is your guy or gal. If you want strategic financial consulting, I'm talking like CFO level stuff, financial analysis. If you have an audit, have to go to a CPA. You have to. Sometimes regulatory compliance, they're great. I think they're great for all businesses, small, medium, or large. But of course, they're especially helpful for larger businesses, more complex businesses. Anyone that needs like special GAAP accounting, like you have to go to a CPA. It just has to happen. So they are, let's dive in a little deeper, right? A CPA is someone who's going to look at your numbers, analyze them, and tell you how to make them better. Okay, they're kind of a partner for business growth and profitability. Okay, they're going to do things like projects. Okay, now let me back up a little bit and go back to taxes because that's what everybody knows and everybody talks about. Yes, they're going to help you strategize for tax time, right? They're going to help you knock off $5, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 from your tax obligation, depending on how good your books are. But we'll get to that later. Because the truth is that if you don't have good books, they can't tell you to do anything because they don't have any numbers to analyze. That's just the facts. Um, so assuming you have good books, they're going to analyze your numbers. They're going to look at things like where do you live? What is your market? What is common in your area? What is supporting cost of living? How much should you be spending? How much you should not be spending? Now, they are not going to make your budget for you. Okay, don't confuse me here. They're not going to give you a budget. What they're going to do is look at what you're already spending and help you figure out if you're over under. Okay, if you're bleeding and you need to stop. And if you do need to stop, they're going to help you figure out where to stop it. All right. They're going to help with taxes. We already did that. They are also going to be able to give you some high-end financial analysis for business growth. Okay, I touched on that a minute ago. I want to go in a little bit deeper and tell you maybe a couple examples of what that could look like. So I'm going to use this is where I'm going to use our company as an example. The two most common projects that we get are capacity models. People want to know, companies want to know, they want help in figuring out everything you could possibly think of as it pertains to salaries and growth as far as hiring employees, okay? Stuff like I had a bunch of contractors and now I want to make them full-time employees. What do I do? What do I pay them? I work with a lot of attorneys. So if before they were going off of their billable hours and getting paid like a percentage of that, well, if you're doing a salary, you can't really pay off of a percentage of billable hours. So how do you make that conversion into full-time W-2 employee? I also work with a lot of architects and everyone in the construction sector, and they always want to know when they can hire another architect or another employee, right? Or how many employees can I hire before I run out? Because sometimes those jobs, they last for so long, it's hard to tell when the next one's coming in. And spreading that out over a year and a half is difficult to plan for. And that's where the CPA comes in. And they again, they analyze the numbers, they analyze your market, they analyze where you live and what's a fair wage. They look at everything and they come up with a plan and they talk to you about it and they help you implement it. They take into account taxes, state taxes, city taxes, all of that stuff, and help you figure out where to go. Our second most common project that we have come across our desk is AR. I know that's nobody wants to talk about AR because everybody always feels like if they're not collecting, then they're terrible business owners. And that's just not true. I have seen 100 reasons why companies will have outstanding AR. Most of the time in both of my fields, it's because the projects take so long, or a case in my attorney's case takes so long. And people just stop paying. And if your stuff is contingency contingency fees don't really work. Just scratch that. People just don't want to pay. And you end up getting, hundreds of thousands of dollars in outstanding AR over the time, 300 days. And now you're stuck and you don't know what to do. Should you send it to collections? How do we attack this? And the CPA will come in, again, analyze all the things and help you come up with a plan based off of percentages and numbers. And these 3 clients make up 40% of your outstanding AR. So let's take these 3 and send them to collections while we have the office manager work on the rest of them to get the little monies trickling in. I don't know. I mean, that's just an example, but you get my drift. They come in, they do that high-end analysis, and they help you figure out how to solve those giant business problems that have to do with money and numbers and making the world go round in your office, and they are a partner for you in all of that. Now, let's talk about bookkeeping. All right? We just handled CPAs. Now let's move into my side of the world. Bookkeepers are very detail oriented, okay? They are going to analyze your day-to-day transactions and put them where they belong. They are the reason why you have good books to send to your CPA for all of that tax strategy stuff, okay? They're going to be more hand in hand with the owner typically because they do provide that daily categorization of the transactions for a business. They are going to have more customization for each company. You know, they're going to look at it and say, okay, well, this attorney's office is an immigration attorney, and this attorney's office is an estate and wills or trusts, or this architect deals with airports, and this architect deals with colleges, and they're going to kind of get more customization on how the books are going to look to run reports for you guys that will make more sense to you. They're going to give you better comparables because they're going to look and say, okay, well, this company's been in business for 2 years. Let's do Q1 to Q1 over the 2 years. This company's been in business for 10 years. We're going to do comparables over 3-month periods and then compare them to last year's 3-month period. Months, January, February, March, not the quarter totals. I know what I said. They are going to, hold on, I have notes. I said less scripted, not totally unscripted. They're going to help you a little bit more with those budgets and those forecasts with the comparables. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. And they're going to have a better ability to help you organize for the day-to-day of running the company. They're going to customize your reports. Like I said, a lot of times they have a little bit more knowledge of the ins and outs of the softwares than the CPAs because they deal with it more, truthfully. All right, let's talk about downsides of each. All right, so the downsides of a bookkeeper are obviously they have a limited expertise. They oftentimes don't have that degree that the CPA has. And so unless they have a lot of extra training, cannot perform the higher end analysis that a CPA can does. Oftentimes, you'll get bookkeepers who are qualified to file a tax return, but again, they don't have that knowledge of the higher end strategy and tax analysis or tax strategy analysis that comes into lowering that tax bill by those huge amounts. They also a lot of times won't have access to those plans that you would specifically like invest in order to save the $10,000 because they don't swim in those ponds. Now, the downsides of a CPA. So the truth is, the facts are, the CPAs are so busy doing the analysis and all that higher end stuff that they don't have time to do the detail oriented organizational stuff that you need for the day to day in order to get that higher end analysis. So it's kind of a catch-22. They are so busy doing the thing that they don't have time to do the work to get the thing for you. And they're expensive. A lot of the times a CPA is going to be $200-$300 an hour, depending on how long they've been a CPA, how long they've been in business, how established they are. And in order to spend, 10 hours in your books a week or a month even doing that detail-oriented bookkeeping, you're going to be paying thousands of dollars for it. And no one wants to pay that. Let's just call it what it is. So, obviously, in a perfect world, you want both, okay? You want the high-end CPA that's going to do the big things and help you save money on taxes, that it's going to really help you grow and take your business to the next level. But you also want that bookkeeper who's going to put the time in to getting you those books that are so pretty and so organized and so detailed that when you hand them to the CPA goes, "Mwah," and spits out gold nuggets for you. Well, that sounded awful. Spits out great information in order to help you get to the next level. For example, let's go back to no examples. You know what I'm trying to say. If you don't have both, you can't get what you want. That's true. That's just the facts. So when I have people who call me and say, "Why do I need a bookkeeper?" I literally ask them the question back that is, well, what do you want to do in your business? Are you looking to save money on taxes? Are you looking to grow? Now, 90% of the time they say they want to grow. But, if they are just looking for taxes, they still need a bookkeeper if they want to save big money on taxes. Because if you give your books to a CPA and say, "Here you go, here's my 12 months worth of bank statements, and I've highlighted out the things that are personal," they're going to spend 2 hours uploading it into a software, organizing it for tax purposes, which is like office supplies and meals and personal, and spit you out a tax return number with a financial obligation, and then they're going to charge you $2,500 to $3,500 for it because it took them a lot of hours and they were irritated that they had to go through 12 months worth of bank statements. Those are the facts. And the downside is, what I really mean to say is, like, you don't get to go anywhere. You don't get those details. You don't get that monthly report that says, "Here's what I spent, here's what I made, here's how much money I spent eating out with my clients. Holy crap, I need to go to McDonald's less." Or, "Here's what I spent in gas. Oh my gosh, I need to, I don't know, buy a diesel or something, buy a hybrid." Like, I don't know, whatever it is that you're doing in your business, you're not going to get the knowledge from a CPA. Not because they can't. They're very smart. They're well qualified. The issue is they're overqualified and they're not going to do it for you unless you pay them tons of money. No one wants to do that. So I hope that helped. I know I kind of rambled. I was trying to make it fun. But the truth is that really you need two. You need a CPA to bump you to the next level, and you need a bookkeeper to get you there. It's like doctors and nurses. You can't have a doctor without a nurse, and you can't have a nurse without a doctor. So, if you have any questions, if you'd like a little more information, if you think I'm full of hot air, let me know. Shoot me a message. Send me an email. My email address and website are in the post or in the comments. Check us out, papillon.house. Shoot me an email, morgan@papillon.house. I'd be happy to chat with you. I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to speaking with you. And I hope you guys have a great, wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, bye.